you would be correct. The last story of the day is about Nicki Minaj, her tweet, this other person that's on the right of her, and the backlash that she has received in the last couple of days regarding her tweet. Oh, man. This thing set Twitter and social media on fire, and they're still talking about it today. So I'm trying to figure out, where do I begin with this? Y'all are crazy in the chat. So basically what happened was Nicki Minaj on her Twitter account basically had put out a tweet talking about an issue that her cousin had in the testicular region of his body that caused that area to swell. And she was talking about it, and she was saying how her cousin, and I'm going to say allegedly, got the vaccine. And says that the causes of the swelling came from the scene. Well, let me backtrack because it was something that she put up before that. Goes back to the Met Gala. So Nicki was invited to go to the Met Gala. She was supposed to go, but she decided to not go because everybody in attendance had to have been vaccinated. Nicki did not get vaccinated yet because she said she wanted to do more research about what was in it, what she was taking. Fast forward to the thing with her cousin. So she said her cousin, who's in Trinidad, which is where she's from, said that they took the vaccine and all of a sudden their testicular region swelled up. But they wasn't sure, allegedly it came from the scene or it happened afterwards that they took the scene. And she put it out there on social media that that's what had happened. And that's really where it started to kick off. Honestly, that's not where it kicked off. When Joy Reid jumped in, that's when it kicked off. So then Joy Reid got on her platform, on her show, with two white men sitting beside her. She was in the middle and had a white man on the left and a white man on the right. She was just basically talking about how a lot of these celebrities need to use their platform and all types of stuff to not spread misinformation about the vaccine and all types of stuff like that. Then Joy Reid, out of nowhere, just plucked Nicki Minaj out of the bunch and said that you have 22 million followers. First off, she said, sister. I do not like the tone in which Joy Reid said sister. It sounded so forced and cringe. And it sounded like it wasn't even a word that she would even say. I never even heard Joy Reid say that on her platform before, ever, even when addressing a black woman. It sounded like how Kamala Harris would say it. You know how she says certain things and it sounds like, she almost sounds like a Hillary Banks. I'll put it like that. If you know, you know. So when she said it, it sounded so forceful and cringy. It just, I had wrote a reply to Jason Black on his page, basically saying, I said, hearing her say sister in the tone that she did was about as painful as passing a kidney stone. So she said that and was saying, Nicki, you have like 22 million followers and, to my 2 million and all things like that. Like you have like a lot of fans and all types of stuff like that. Let me just say this. Nicki Minaj does have a lot of followers. She does have a lot of fans. But guess what? Not all of her fans are black Joy Reid. All of Nicki Minaj's fans are not black. Now, when Nicki was first starting out, like when she was an underground artist, because I remember when Nicki first came out. I remember when Nicki came to South Carolina in the region with the school that I went to, when she just was getting hyped up and she was still performing at clubs. And that's when she mainly had a mostly black fan base. But now she has a very diverse fan base of all ethnicities. So for Joy to make it sound like she was only going to be talking to just Black people, that was very disingenuous. So that was one strike right there for Joy Reid. Second was her using her platform to say that in mixed company. So like I said, she said that in between two white men. And if you look at the clip, Joy Reid was literally wagging her finger. You know, that wagging of the finger. I don't like when people do that. I hate when people do that finger wagging thing. Because now it's like you're talking down to me at this point. But she did the wagging of the finger, whatever. Like she was pointing at her and everything like she was a child. And then, you know, all of that happened. So then Nicki did not take that lying down. She saw the clip and she retweeted it on her page and basically called Joy Reid out. But the funny part about the whole tweet was when she called her an Uncle Tommy, Uncle Tommyana. That's what she called her. She called her an Uncle Tommyana. When I saw that, I'm not gonna lie, I let out a little chuckle when I saw that, because I never thought that Nicki would ever say that on her platform. And then it escalated from there, because then when that happened, you had all these people who probably would have never talked about Nicki Minaj on their platform before talk about her, such as Tucker Carlson and the Coonstress and Ben Shapiro. That part right there was like, I knew it was going to happen. I wish it didn't. Now, let me just say this. Just because those three idiots, them three knuckleheads, was going to talk about her does not mean that because now this is what they're trying to also insinuate. Because now that those three, and we know how those three operate, mention her on their platform, that somehow Nicki Minaj is right-leaning. I'm like, hold on, that doesn't even make sense. I don't know what political leanings this woman has. I really don't care. But to now insinuate that she's right conservative leaning because these three knuckleheads decided to talk about her, that's dumb. And I hate when they do that. I hate whenever people speak their mind about a certain thing, that they'll automatically throw you into this little portal, in this little box, and boom, that's where you're placed at. But that's what they were trying to insinuate when it came to that. So then that happened. So then, you know, Nicki, you know, she went in on Joy Reid some more. And she basically, one thing, and if I can't remember the entire tweet, I remember her saying to Joy Reid, she called her a lying, homophobic coon. Now, in case y'all forget, a couple years ago, before Joy Reid really got to the point where she's at, she wrote some blog posts. And them blog posts got exposed like last year, where she was saying some very interesting things about those in the academy, and they called her out on her shit. Like, that was literally a moment right there where Joy was probably shaking in her boots and thought this was probably going to be the end of her career, where she was basically said some things about the academy that was very off-putting, and she had to say an apology and all types of stuff. So that's why Nicki called her a lying, homophobic coon. That's where that came from. And then, you know, I guess it kind of got blown over, but Joy Reid better be careful, because if they want to pull that back out on her again, they will do it, and they will go even harder. And that's why now she's very watchful of what she says when it comes to that academy. So she picks and chooses her battles, and that's one battle she knows she won't win. Because as you can see, she got caught up in the crosshairs of it last year. Now, I don't know if y'all saw the video that Professor Black Truth did yesterday. Very good video where he was talking about Joy Reid, Nicki Minaj, and Larry Elder. But on the part about Nicki Minaj and Joy Reid, he was talking about an article that the LA Times, I think it was the LA Times, did, where they did a poll about the influence that celebrities have over the decisions of the general populace when it comes to the vaccine. And he said, and he pulled up the receipts based on polling, that a good vast majority of people, if they choose to get the vaccine, it's not because of celebrity influence. It's because of peer influence. So basically, when everybody keeps saying, oh, you need to use your platform to influence people to take the jab, such as, because they did it with LeBron James, they did it with Cam Newton, they did it with Lamar Jackson, and now recently Nicki Minaj. There's probably some other people that they've done it with as well. When they do that, they're wasting time because it's not going to work. According to that poll, celebrity influence does not sway the public to go and get the scene. If people are going to get the scene, they're going to get it because they choose to get it, not because a celebrity told them to go get it. But you have people like Joy Reid who keep pushing that out there and saying this, that, and the third, that's how that this is how it's supposed to be. So yesterday, Joy Reid got back on her show and, was talking to Michael Eric Dyson, of all people, another traitor, and was talking about how, now this is what makes it, this is where the hypocrisy comes in. Excuse me. This is where the hypocrisy comes in. When 45 was in office and he was saying all the stuff he was saying, like saying he was a hoax and everything like that, you had people like Joy Reid and others who were so loud now about pushing the scene, who at the time was saying, don't take it. He called it a hoax. I don't trust it, and all type of stuff like that when he was in office. But the minute he gets out of office and 45 and 46 gets in, it's okay, let's go take the scene. Get your booty to the polls. We have to do this. We have to do that. Use your platform. So she got on there with Michael Eric Dyson defending that in which I just talked about. And people called Joy Reid out on her hypocrisy. They was like, wait a minute. So last year you had one tune, but this year you have this tune. And also, I'm glad someone said in the chat, this is the same Joy Reid that called black people, us, Russian bots because we were trying to tell them about this election, between 45 and 46, between Biden and Trump. Called us Russian bots. This is the same Joy Reid that said that. But it's amazing how much her tune changed. And right, she was not the only one that flip-flopped. She's one of several. So because Trump said one thing, you didn't like it because it was him, but because now it's coming from Biden, oh, we got to go and do it. So they called her out on that. Now, of course, you had some people that was out there in the Joy Reid camp that was coming out to defend her. And like I said, I don't like Nicki Minaj because of some stuff she said in the past. However, in this one instance, if she wants to question it, she has every right to do so if that's her choice. And people should not be forced to choose this or that. Now, what most recently just happened is that Nicki Minaj got an invite from the White House to come talk about what is true and what isn't about the scene, even though they probably gonna fill it with a bunch of lies. And I knew that was going to come. They always do that. They always do that. When a celebrity, quote unquote, gets out of line, they got to go there and I guess get them back in line. I don't know what's going to come of that discussion, but we'll see. It's amazing that they called Nicki Minaj to come talk about the scene in what she said on Twitter, but Ice Cube still hasn't gotten a call from Joe Biden like they claimed that was going to happen back last year to talk about the contract with Black America. Amazing, isn't it? And then, people will bring up about Nicki Minaj's husband and his legal issues and stuff like that. I said, those are her husband's legal issues that has nothing to do with what she said on Twitter. One thing I don't like is when people divert from the conversation to try to throw a wrench into the conversation. What her husband has going on, those are his issues. What she has going on with what she said, those are hers. We're talking about what she tweeted, not her husband. Shout out to Kimberly Frazier, because she did a video this morning, or uploaded a video this morning, about Donna. And if y'all aren't subscribed to Kimberly Frazier, make sure y'all go and do that. Her page is Kimberly Frazier, spelled just like that. She did a video this morning about Donna. And let me tell you something. Don Lemon has been feeling himself for way too long now. That he just is so slick at the mouth. He is so slick at the mouth. He basically made a statement talking about, if you don't have or get the vaccine, you should be shamed and shunned and all types of wild shit like that. And that's not the first time he said that. But his tone gets more and more aggressive every single time he talks about it. And he too was one of the people last year that was like Joy Reid, talking about, I don't know, we should take this and that because, Trump said this and Trump said that. He was another one of those who said that. But Donna always is talking some shit. What's going on, Bishop? He's always doing that shit. And wonder why nobody who was in the black community can stand his ass. Remember that time he went, I forgot what protest was going on. They ran his ass about it. They were like, we don't want your ass. People know who Donna is. They know what he's all about. That damn turncoat. But yeah, he sat up there talking about that they should be shamed and everything like that. And I had wrote a comment in Kimberly's post. I said, I remember back in, I think, July of this year, where I made a tweet talking about how they are going to turn this vaccinated versus unvaccinated into a civil war. And I remember I had got some responses of people saying that I was reaching. They said that I was joking, that this wasn't a reach and all types of things like that. Fast forward to now. What is it turning into? What is it turning into? It feels like it's literally turning into a goddamn civil war. You got people fighting, whether, they're pro-vaccine versus pro-anti-vaccine. You have people that's pro-mask versus pro-anti-mask. Doesn't it sound real orchestrated? It sounds very orchestrated. And that goes back to the stories that I was talking about earlier in the stream, like with France and them banning Americans from coming over there and all types of stuff like that. It's getting real spooky out here. Like I said, I have no issue. If you want to take the scene, go ahead and take it. If you don't want to take it, then don't take it. But if you do decide to take it, just take the damn thing and shut the fuck up. Unfortunately, the one on the right of this screen doesn't know how to do that. They take one goddamn jab and think they the queen and kings of the goddamn earth. I didn't know that moved your bank account. I didn't know it upped your lot in life. Like, do you know how many jabs you've taken over the years? A flu shot, maybe a measles shot. What did that do for you? What will this do for you? Nothing. You still got to go through life. You still got to put your pants on one leg at a time. You still got to eat, sleep, and shit For the women, you still got to menstruate once a month. The world continues to move. Money still has to be made. So what? And it's a shame that I'm sitting here having to be put in a position where I have to, in a way, defend Nicki Minaj, but not defend her because, like Harvey said in his video, Nicki Minaj is a proxy to all black people. Yes, Joy Reid was talking to Nicki Minaj when she said it, but when I saw her wagging that finger and pointing, it's like she was pointing at her, but past her and around her and above her and below her and pointing at us. That's the one thing I hate when it comes to a lot of these so-called black journalists like her who take all their issues out on us. Excuse me, but it's not our fault that we're in a global pandemic. You have that idiot Dan Patrick down in Texas spreading lies talking about black people are the cause for the spread of the virus down in Texas. Are you kidding me? Black people don't even make up a good fraction of the population in Texas. You better talk to them white residents and them Latinos and Mexicans, especially the ones that's hopping the border. Or you can talk to the ones that's leaving California and going to Texas because they feel it's cheaper to live there. Which, by the way, in California is not even a big black population out there either. So you can pretty much guess who's leaving California and drove to Texas. Like I said, I cannot stand people like that. And they never have smoke for any other group that feels the same exact way. Wasn't it Chet Hanks, the son of Tom Hanks, that said he wasn't going to take the scene? Meanwhile, his dad and his mom were two of the first celebrities to catch COVID last year. Where was the smoke then, Joy? Or anybody else that got some shit to say to black people? Crickets. I can't stand. That's one of my biggest pet peeves. If it comes to us, is you get some of these uppity ass Negroes like Joy Reid get in these positions and think they can talk down on us like we're supposed to just stand there and take that. They better be careful because some people out here will pull a run up. And I'm going to just leave it at that. They will catch you slipping. You better ask why, what's his name, Jason Whitlock doesn't go outside, because he talks a lot of shit about black people, and they know that he will be quick to catch the fade. He don't go. He keeps his fat ass hermit ass at home. The only time he probably goes outside is to eat. You know, said Nicki said, make whatever choice you feel is best. Just don't be bullied. And how do they respond by bullying? Exactly. That they turned this into a bullying thing. That's what they turned it into. This versus that. Talking about we need to do this because, you know, if we don't, we're not going to get out of this. So let me put it in perspective. Are you telling me that if every black person in America, let's hypothetically say, if every black person in America got vaccinated today, every last black person got vaccinated today, that by tomorrow we'll be out of this? That by next week we'll be out of this? By next month we'll be out of this? By next year? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Because if you are, I have a bridge called the Chesapeake Bay Bridge that I can sell you for free 99 if you actually believe that shit. Black people, like I said, if we was to all get vaccinated today, that won't change a damn thing. Why? Because one, it didn't come from us. Two, it's global. It's global. And black people in America aren't even the majority. This virus is here to stay. All it can do is eventually settle down to the point where it's like the flu, where it's a seasonal thing. But we're still in the very beginning of it. So we just got to deal with it until it gets to that point. We just got to be careful and be smart. But all this bullying tactic, what is that going to do? Not a goddamn thing. We know where this thing came from, and it didn't come from us. So stop treating us as if we are the cause. I know it's the easiest thing to do to blame black people, but you sound stupid and look even more foolish when saying it. And that goes for Joy Reid, Roland Martin, Don Lemon, Michael Eric Dyson, all them idiots that feel that they have to say the most asinine things when it comes to this. We know where this thing came from, but you won't dare fix your mouth to call them out on it because you already know. You already know that government is coming for that ass if you do. Let's not forget, this is the same government that just recently said we're taking effeminate men off of the media because they're not helping. And notice the Academy has yet to call them out on it. And that happened, what, 2 weeks ago? But they'll have all the smoke for black people saying they're homophobic, they're transphobic, they're this phobic, they're that phobic. We know who they get their marching orders from. And when they say jump, your silly, goofy ass better say how high. And don't say anything else, just do it. Like Nike. But they cannot scare me or use these scare tactics. Like I said, and I think I mentioned this in a previous stream, and I'll say it here. I took it. I did. Many of y'all probably didn't know. Many of you probably did. But I took it. But you don't see me flashing my shit all over social media like it's a goddamn, like it's a fucking pom-pom. And if anybody asks how I feel fine. I didn't have any side effects. Thankfully. And I think I got my last one like 2 weeks ago. But you don't see me going around just talking about it, just because. Because it's nobody's business. They ask if I took it, I'll tell them. But I'm not going around, hey, look, here's my card. I took it and you should too. For what? And guess what, Joy Reid? People like Nicki Minaj or any of these other black entertainers or socialites and athletes or whoever did not influence my decision to do it. I alone made the choice to do it. And just like anybody else who's in here, if you decide to do it, that's on you. If you decide not to do it, I'm not going to hold it against you because it's your choice at the end of the day. I have no agency over your decisions. But with that being said,